Hi yogis, Nin from Nin Yoga here. Today we have a class for motivation to make you feel re-energized and give you a boost. Maybe it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and you just need a bit of a wake up. So, with that said, let's begin. Come firstly into child's pose, palms out in front of you. Head down to the mat and let yourself sink down onto the mat. Just thanking yourself for the time you're spending right now, recognizing your limitations and that you might need a lift. And slowly we're just going to bring our seat up to mat, up to tabletop. And then we're going to go back into child's pose. So we're going to do a few wave-like motions like that. Inhaling, exhaling down. Inhaling, exhaling down. And take our final inhale, and we'll just pause there. And now we're going to come into a pose we call puppy pose. So for this pose, keeping your knees hip width apart where they are. And just walk forward on your hands so that your chest comes down to the mat. And your forehead also comes down to the mat. And we'll just stretch out here. And it's a really good pose this for bringing your shoulder blades together. And stretching out the upper body that often gets neglected. And feel the circulation going around again. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now slowly coming up onto your forearms and then just walking your hands back into tabletop pose. Now this next pose we're going to do is called a thread the needle. It's pretty much doing what it sounds like, which is threading, well, your arm through another arm. So what I'd like you to do here is lifting up your right hand, looking up to the sky, and then threading it under your left elbow, and then just bending your elbow here. And just stretching out, extending your shoulder blades. Now, if it's available, you might be able to stretch out your left hand above the top of your head. Just for a deeper stretch. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Bringing your left hand palm down to the mat to stabilize. And then coming back up into tabletop. And we're going to do that exact same move on the other side. But this time we're going to lift up the left hand. Looking up, opening the chest, bringing the shoulder blades together. Just find your balance and then thread it through underneath the right armpit and bringing your left ear down to the mat. And from here, slowly push into your right hand and begin to push yourself back up into tabletop. And just looking down to your navel so that you're straightened up and your back's aligned straight. And from here, we're going to come into a low lunge. So take your right foot and step it between the gates of your palms. And then coming up into a low lunge, lifting the palms up above your head. And you should feel a nice stretch down in your hips, and your right knee should be at a 90-degree angle. Exhale, bringing the palms down beside your right foot and just pushing back with your hips. And straightening out your right leg and bringing your forehead down to your knee. And if you can, try and flex your right foot. Breathing in and out. In and out. Then putting your right foot on the ground, bending your right knee, just coming up onto your left toes and lifting your left leg off the ground. And then what I'd like you to do is bring your left elbow round to your right thigh and bring your palms together into a prayer-like position. And just sinking down into your hips, finding your center here. Inhale, exhale, bringing the palms next to your right foot, stepping back into plank pose. I'm going to take a vinyasa, bending the elbows into your ribs, stomach to the ground, nose to the ground, forehead to the ground, lifting up into cobra. And then tucking your toes under, bringing your seat back to your heels. You're going to come up into a downward facing dog. And just let your head hang, let the blood run to your head, pushing down through your calves. And then just stepping forward with your right foot in between the palms of your hands. And then just lifting up with your chest, bringing your right knee down to the mat, untucking the right toes, 90-degree angle again. And we're going to bring our palms up above our head into a low lunge. And then bringing the palms down beside our left foot. And we're just going to push back with our hips and flex our left foot. Half split again, bringing your forehead down to your knee. Nice stretch in the hamstrings, re-energizing and getting the blood circulating around. Inhale, putting your left foot down, bending your left knee, tucking the right foot under, and just coming up into a high lunge and lifting up with your torso. And if this is as far as you can take it, that's absolutely fine. But like on the other side, bring your right elbow to your left thigh and bringing the palms together in Anjalin Mudra, prayer pose. Now this twist is really good for the lymph nodes and the lymphatic system, which is responsible for transporting toxins away from the organs. So just pressing down in your hips. Inhale, exhale, bringing the palms down to the sides of your left foot, stepping back into plank pose, and we'll just take a vinyasa, bending the elbows down to the floor, lifting up into cobra, and then tucking the toes under into downward facing dog. Pedal it out, get yourself moving. And then just take a few breaths here, find your center. Lifting up with your right foot up to the sky, and then bringing it round into, this time, a high lunge. Now you might want to twizzle around your left foot so that you find balance, and slowly bring your torso up so that it's straight, stacked above your hips. And then bringing your palms over your head into Warrior One. And just bringing shoulder blades back, spine straight, neck straight, heart above the pelvis. Exhale, bringing the palms down to beside the right foot, straightening the right knee, coming into pyramid pose. Another fantastic stretch for the hamstrings. And And from here, begin to bend your right knee, twizzle around your left foot, bring your left knee to the ground, untucking the left toes, and come up into a low lunge. Now from here, this might be enough, but if it's available, bringing your right hand round to the back and lifting your left knee, your left leg, bending your left knee, and then look, if you can, over your right shoulder and feel that really nice deep quad stretch there. Lovely on your left thigh as well. And slowly and with control, letting go of your left leg and bringing your palms down beside your right foot and just pushing back once again into a half split pose. And then bending your right knee then comes round to meet your left. Tucking the feet underneath, we come into plank and we take a vinyasa. Engaging your thighs into the ground, pushing your feet into the ground, tucking your toes under, seated area comes back to your heels, and then pushing up into downward facing dog. Excellent. Pedaling it out. Find your center. And then we're going to lift up our left leg and then bringing it round into a high lunge. So twizzle around your right foot if you need to. Bend your left knee at 90 degrees and push up into a warrior one pose. Exhale, beautiful. Bringing your palms down to the mat, straightening out your left knee. Forehead comes down to the knee into pyramid pose. And from here, bend your left knee, twizzle right foot round, bringing your right knee down to the mat. Palms either side of your left foot, push back into half split. And bending your left knee, we're coming into low lunge again, and then coming up into a low lunge, and if it's available, bend your right knee and bring your right leg up and bring your left arm round to meet your foot, and then look over your left shoulder. And stepping back into plank, lowering down Chaturanga Dandasana. Take a vinyasa. And coming back into child's pose. Before we tuck in our heels to the ground, coming up into downward facing dog. Stretching there momentarily, pressing down through your heels. Biceps should be parallel with the ears, and then with control bring your knees to the mat. Now I'm going to show you a variation. So we're going to come into side plank. What I'd like you to do is to twizzle your right knee round so it's facing the back of your mat, and straighten with your left leg, and then looking up to your palm, keeping your shoulders back. If you can, take it a bit further, stacking walking your feet in front of one another. And we'll just take this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Palms down to the mat, coming back into tabletop, and then we'll take it to the other side. So twizzle round with your left knee and straighten out your right leg, looking up to the right palm. And as before, this may be enough, but if it's within your practice, stack the feet, bringing the hips down slightly so that you're in a straightish line, looking up to the palm. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. And come back into child's pose. Good, well done. Coming up into tabletop and come into saddle pose, but with your feet out in front of the mat, so it'd be easier to follow what I do. So from here, I'd like you to bring your right foot to your left knee, and then your left foot to under your right knee. And what I'd like are the shins to be stacked on top of each other, and your feet to be flexed, so that you're in more of a square-like position rather than a lotus. And from here, just stretching out, opening your heart. And if you'd like to take this further, bring your palms above your head, bending down towards the floor with control, and just placing the palms down on the floor. And slowly walking your hands back up to a seated position, stretching open the chest, and then releasing the legs and just doing a windshield wiper movement from side to side just to let the blood flow. And then we're going to do exactly the same, but on the opposite leg. So bringing, this time, your left foot to your right knee, and your right foot to underneath your left knee. And having, again, the shins stacked on top of each other. You may find here there's a bit of an open gap on one side over the other, and that's perfectly normal. If you'd like, you can maybe put a book or a block in between so that you don't feel as though you're pushing it too hard. And again, here, just stretching out, opening the chest. And if you'd like to take it a bit further, palms up over your head, and then bringing them down to the ground, and just sinking in deeply. Breathing into those areas of tension in your hips and thighs. Feel yourself re-energized after this practice, and then begin to walk up into a seated pose, stretching open the chest and unraveling the legs. And then do a windshield type movement, and then bring your feet to the other into saddle pose, so that you're along the mat, and slowly with control, vertebra by vertebra, bring yourself down to the mat. Your head's on the floor. Now from here, bring your palms out to the side in a cactus type pose, and bring your feet down to the floor, and then crossing your right leg over your left and bringing your knees down towards the left. Now if you need to just scoot over your hips to the right a little, that's fine. And then looking over your right shoulder. Up to center, uncrossing your legs, putting your hips into the center, and then just take a second here before we bring our left leg over our right, rotating our hips over to the left and bringing our knees down to the right hand side. And looking over our left shoulder. And slowly, with control again, bring your knees up to center, uncrossing the legs, and we'll come into our final Shavasana resting pose. Bringing your palms down beside you, flopping the feet to the side, closing your eyes, just breathing deeply into your body, thanking yourself for taking this time to re-energize and reboost yourself. It's very easy at the moment to become sluggish and lethargic as the world around us does appear to feel less stimulating. But try to forget all that and find energy from within. Find your power and motivation from within, and know that you can come to this whenever you need to feel alive and up to speed again. Take an inhale, breathing into the areas of tension and noticing how you now feel in your body. The circulation's got moving again. Hopefully you've got ideas to get you through the rest of the day. And take a deep final breath in and out. And bringing your feet to the mat. And just roll over to one side. And then coming up into a seated pose. Looping our shoulders round, hands on our knees, center ourselves, taking an inhale, palms coming above us, bringing them down to the forehead. We bow and we say Namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much for doing this class with me. I hope you feel re-energized at least, and that you can go on with your day with a bit more vitality. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to my YouTube channel or check out my other videos. If you could leave any comments, I'd really appreciate them, and let me know how you got on and what you'd like to see. I hope to see you again soon on the mat. Thank you.